Welcome to Just Say the Truth. We got no Freddie today. It's just me and Jonathan. We've got quite the stacked show. We've got some injuries in the NBA, some offseason preview. How are we doing today, Jonathan?
Hey, what's up, man? How we doing today, Cole, man? It feels like it's been such a long time because, as you know, I missed Friday's show. I couldn't be there, so it feels like it's been a long time since we've last chatted about sports.
Yeah, I can only do weekly. I have not been able to make a Friday show yet. My job doesn't really lend itself to be bartending on Friday nights. I got to make the money somehow, I guess. So,
Yes.
But NBA happened. Giannis Antetokounmpo got hurt, and he is the star of my favorite team, so I'm kind of down in the dumps.
Right.
No structural damage, which is good, but we can start there. Do you think the Bucks have a chance?
If he comes back. If he doesn't come back, I don't think the Bucks have a chance. But, Cole, we can't deny the fact that the Hawks have a great chance now. Have a very good shot at winning the NBA championship. Like, it's unreal. It's hard to believe because if you go back to the early start of the NBA season, you wouldn't have expected this from this Atlanta Hawks team. I mean, this team is gritty, it's pesky, and they have really showed up, and they're not intimidated by this very good Bucks team. But if Giannis doesn't play, man, I think that just, changes the whole narrative of the series, and it kind of, wash away all hope for a team that, really believed in themselves and really had a lot of hope and thought they could actually make it this year. Maybe believed that it was their year to finally cash in after so many years of disappointment. I just don't see them winning without Giannis because I think they need their big to make it happen for them. Without him, I mean, the Bucks are a lost deer, okay? They're a lost deer stuck on the road. They don't have that car that's in their direction that can help them, that can help guide them across the road. I mean, I just don't see it, Cole. I can't fathom how the fan base in Milwaukee feel right about now, not knowing Giannis' status moving forward. Yes, he was able to put weight on it. Yes, he was able to walk off the floor. He did return, but they didn't even bother to put him back into the game because at that point, it was really no point. It was already a blowout. So, just rest him up, try to get him ready for the next game, which will be very important. But, Cole, man, it's hard to see the Bucks winning without Giannis because he is their centerpiece. Without him, you can't do much.
A couple of things on the Giannis injury. Everybody's dealing with injuries now. There's no excuse anymore. Granted, this is a two-time MVP, top 5 NBA player, top 10, however you want to look at it. He's there. He's in the conversation. What struggles for me, the struggle for me I have with the Bucks, and this could just be watching them a lot. We're now forced to play Brook Lopez a lot more minutes. You watch the early series, you watch the early games, those series, they went small. Brook Lopez's minutes were diminishing. They'd put Collins at the center, Gallinari at the center. They'd draw Lopez out of that center position a little bit, and they'd have to put Giannis at the center, and they could go small and run with the Hawks. Well, now you don't have that super center that Giannis can be. You're going to have to play guys like Bobby Portis and PJ Tucker a little bit more at the position, and you're already down a guard, DiVincenzo, so your depth is shot, your superstar's out. Now, the only way Middleton can continue to go off, Bucks still have 2 home games left. Middleton has always played well at home in the playoffs, but Trae Young, if he's healthy, I don't see a world where the Bucks come back. If he's not healthy, I can see the Bucks get to the finals, not win it. Trae Young healthy, it's going to be Atlanta in the finals. No questions at all.
Oh, absolutely. Trae Young, when he's healthy, he's on an offensive tear. He has been putting on an offensive clinic night in and night out. He has been shooting the ball efficiently, and there's just no answer for him. The Bucks haven't been able to slow him down, let alone stop him. He has really turned it on this postseason, and he's been absolutely a threat to the Bucks, and now their season is on life support, partly because of that, but also now if Giannis is not playing, it makes it even more challenging for this team to finally get over the hurdle. But you talked about Middleton, man. Middleton is very good at home. It's as if he feeds off of the crowd's intensity. He likes playing in front of the home crowd. He likes that home cooking. The homemade food actually tastes better than food that you get on the road. So that's understandable. But you're gonna need more from Jrue Holiday. You're gonna need more from PJ Tucker. You're gonna need him to be a scorer. You're gonna need him to knock down some corner threes because he's obviously comfortable shooting a corner three. But you're also gonna need his mental toughness and his defensive presence as well, because that's where he's good. He's a very good defender. That's the great area of his game, and he has shown that time and time again. So they're going to need him to, be excellent defensively, but they're going to need Middleton to drop 40-plus points if they want a chance to win if Giannis is not there. In the absence of Giannis, everyone has to step up in order to beat this Hawks team, because, look, the Hawks have gotten outstanding play from everyone on their roster. John Collins has been huge in the postseason. Kevin Huerter, a guy that came out of the Big Ten, played at Maryland. He has been fantastic in this postseason, and he has made a name for himself on the Atlanta Hawks team. And you have guys that's just stepping up at the right time. They're peaking at the right time. And then you got Lou Williams, a veteran, who just fits in perfectly in Atlanta. Maybe that's where he should have been all along, because he fits that system really well. He has thrived under Nate McMillan's system and has brought into it. And I think all those players have brought into it. And now it's time, I talked about this yesterday, to move the interim tag from the name of Nate McMillan. He is well deserving of that job. He has earned it. Give him that job.
I agreed. He's going to have the job no matter what. Draymond Green, speaking to your Lou Williams point, Draymond Green said, don't mess around. Lou Williams can absolutely win you a game if you're Atlanta, and that's exactly what Lou did. I think he had like 25 and 5 last night, excuse me. Speaking on the Bucks, though, we've been praising the Hawks. I'm going to praise the Bucks supporting cast. I know it hasn't been great around Giannis and Middleton, but if there are teams that Budenholzer has coached to get to these Eastern Conference Finals, those Hawks teams without a quote-unquote superstar, those Jeff Teague, Josh Smith, Al Horford, Joe Johnson teams. So he has that kind of idea. He never won anything with those teams, so it's just interesting. A guy like Bobby Portis, I think, is going to play a huge role. We'll see moving down the stretch. I could see it leaning both ways. If Trae Young misses Game 6, that's a huge miss. Game 5, that's a huge miss, because I think the winner of Game 5 inevitably will win the series. Both teams dealing with injuries. Bogdanovich, Young on the Hawks, DiVincenzo, Giannis on the Bucks side. But injury conversation brings me to my next point. We have seen these last 4 teams without their superstar talent. We've seen the Suns without Chris Paul. We've seen the Clippers without Kawhi. We've seen the Hawks without Trae. And now we've seen a little bit of the Bucks without Giannis. Assuming that these stars are not healthy, Kawhi in Los Angeles, Trae Young in Atlanta, Giannis in Milwaukee. Obviously, we see Chris Paul is back. But what team you think is best without their superstar?
What team I think is best right now without their superstar currently? The Clippers.
Probably the Hawks.
The Clippers too, if they get great production from Paul George. I mean, the Clippers have proved resilient without Kawhi Leonard. It's amazing how this team has actually gotten better without Kawhi being on the floor. They took their game to another level. They have, brought that competitive fire each night. Patrick Beverley has played a huge role in this team's success lately. He's been doing it on both ends of the floor defensively, and he's even been knocking down shots on the offensive end. And then you get more out of Morris now. You're getting points out of Reggie Jackson, who has been a stellar shooter in these playoffs. He's been knocking it down from 3-point land. He has given you some shots, and then you're getting buckets from other guys as well who have stepped it up big. I mean, you got guys that's not putting up a lot of points like Zubac, but they're bringing that energy. on the floor, So, I mean, the Clippers, to me, they are they're champion. They have that championship mindset, and they have the guys that's able to get it done for them. So I like what I'm seeing from Paul George. And for all the Clipper fans out there that think I hate on the team, I just made it real clear that I don't hate on the team because, look, I'm keeping it unbiased here with you guys. The Clippers look really, really good without Kawhi. They've shown that they don't need him on the floor.
And I'm glad you brought up Clippers. All credit to Ty Lue, too. Ty Lue is probably a top 3 coach in the NBA. 10-2 in elimination games is absolutely bizarre. You're talking about guys that have come back from 3-1 series. He led that NBA Finals team with LeBron. Now everyone says, "Oh, he was LeBron's puppet," and here's that. Watch him in LA now. He's got Paul George and a bunch of Tinker toys, and they're taking it to the Suns, who are arguably the title favorite right now. So Paul George has been playing great. None of that pandemic P slander anymore. He's been awesome. I know he missed a couple of free throws, but it's been a weird postseason, man, because when everybody jumps on the Twitter timeline, the Facebook timeline, the social medias to slander these guys, Paul George, Giannis, Trae Young, Devin Booker, CP3, you know what they do? They follow up with a huge game afterwards. We've seen it with Giannis. Giannis, Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, fumbled the ball near the hoop. What does he do? He comes out, wins Game 6 and 7, and has resounding performances. You see Paul George putting up 40-point wins with the Clippers. It's been kind of reassuring to see some of these guys that have been through the ringer a little bit in the media come back and say, hey, I can still play. And DeMarcus Cousins is another guy. He had a big game. I think he had 10 points or something, 15 points off the bench. Nobody expects that out of DeMarcus Cousins, coming off the Warriors, coming off what had happened. So it's been really exciting to see some of these guys step up, talking about losing superstars. A guy like Campaign even, who was out of the league when he was with Chicago, is coming in and playing huge minutes in Phoenix and dropping like 25 in Game 1. So it's fun to see the guys that aren't the other guys. I think John Collins called them in an Athletic article. I think that's fun to see the other guys put up huge numbers. It's been kind of reassuring to see. Might not be great for the NBA's ratings, but as a pure basketball fan, I've had some excitement doing it. So.
Right. And the Clippers, like you said, the Clippers have answered the bell. Every time they seemed like they were down in the dumps, they have found a way to, get back in the series. They have been able to keep their head above water. Every time we said it was over or the series was done, they have responded. They have just, responded to criticism in such an fascinating way that, everyone keeps talking about how good they have played, specifically after games 1 and 2, when they seem to have to get a feel for the opponent that they're playing. And then once they get that feel, they kind of take over the series, and next thing you know, they have full control of the series. I'm not saying that's what we're seeing here, but Paul George has even answered to his critics with outstanding performances, and has led his team with game high performances. He's been phenomenal as well. So this Clipper team has continued to color me impressed. I have been blown away by how they have just stepped it up tremendously, and how they continue to fight, because this team seems like it never quits. If they do get down, they don't get down on themselves. They continue to fight until the very end. And the Clippers are a perfect example of that. A series is never over until it's over. So you could never count out the Clippers. They could pull the series out still against the Phoenix Suns. And Devin Booker, he's going to have a monster performance if the Suns are going to win the series. I don't know if it's the mask that has had an effect on his play. I don't know what it is, but he's not afraid to play. I think their mask has kind of affected his ability to perform the way he usually does.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I as a basketball fan, like I watched Drew Holiday, I watched some of these guard defenders, Matisse Thybulle. I watched all. I don't want to see Patrick Beverley opposed for me on a pickup court ever, because he's going to defend you and he's going to let you know that he's locking you up. So I think he's in Booker's ear, and Booker's a young star. I'm not saying he's afraid of the moment, but you get that in your ear. You get a veteran in your ear that might be a little crazy. Talking about the series real quick, Clippers and Suns, Game 6 is tonight, coming up here shortly. The Clippers are down 3-2, but they have a positive point differential. They have led in the series more. Their wins are by 14 and 14, but their losses are only by 6, 1, and 4. So take that for as you may. I think the Clippers have a chance to come back, and we'll close out the show with predictions. But I think tonight we're going to see a Game 6 win from the Clippers. We're definitely seeing Game 7. We're going to switch gears here from the playoffs. We'll end on the finals predictions here, but switching gears, the NBA draft is coming up, and NBA draft leads to NBA trade rumors. Trade rumors are always fun, and the big one right now is Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard's camp is reportedly not happy with the Chauncey Billups signing for head coach, 5 years of the Portland Trailblazers. So all the NBA fans, take to Twitter, take to Facebook, take to social media, and we are trying to figure out where Damian Lillard will end up next. Where is Damian Lillard ending up next, Jonathan?
I'm hearing so many names. I'm hearing the Warriors, and to me, the Warriors, it doesn't make sense because they already have great point guard play in their backcourt. They have Splash Brothers, but I'm hearing rumors that he could end up there. I'm hearing other trade talks. You hear about the Lakers. He's linked to the Lakers, and everyone is linked to the Lakers when a player is on the market, because the Lakers are always in the hunt for another superstar player to come and team up with a guy like LeBron or Anthony Davis. So you're hearing all these teams and what's the best trade packages for Damian Lillard. Where do I think he'll end up? Do I think he'll end up in Oklahoma City? Do I think there's a chance that he'll end up in New Orleans? Maybe he can fit in well with a guy like Brandon Ingram, maybe a guy like Zion Williamson, a younger supporting cast, a younger team with superstar talent. Maybe he ends up there. There's a lot of names being floating around. I mean, you never know. Then there might be a few mystery teams out there that could get in on the mix. But if I'm an NBA team, and if I can afford him, and if I have valuable assets that I can give up for him, I'm inquiring about him. I'm definitely making that phone call to see how I could possibly package a deal and land a guy as remarkable as Damian Lillard. Because look, this guy clearly reinvented the way the three-point shot is made. This guy is ridiculous, man. He can shoot from the damn logo. He could shoot probably from the moon, okay? That's just how pure of a shooter he is. He's an amazing guy. So I think the Lakers don't have a great shot at getting him. And I just want to throw that out there to Laker fans. I know I've been dreaming myself, and I keep dreaming. Like, I had a dream last night that Damian Lillard was donning the purple and gold. But in reality, it's going to be difficult to make that happen, because what team is going to want someone like Kyle Kuzma or some of these other young guys? Maybe, the guy has a lot of promise. He has great potential to be a future superstar in this league, or maybe even a great player off the bench. But are the Portland Trailblazers willing to rebuild with a guy like Talen Horton? Are they? I don't know. So I mean, it's hard to envision him landing with the Lakers, but I don't know. What do you think? Where do you think he might end up? You think he might end up with the Sixers and they might trade him for Ben Simmons? Maybe that's another possibility. I mean, there are out there too.
There are like two different ways Portland can approach this. Portland could completely tear it down, trade Dame and CJ, and go with assets and get every pick ever. They could go the Oklahoma City route, or they could continue that route where, hey, we'll stay a 6 to 7 seed. We'll trade Dame for some, like a guy like Ben Simmons, who know he'll keep us in competition. We'll know we'll win games with him in the regular season. CJ can score 20. Ben Simmons will give us around a triple-double. Like, there's a couple ways of doing this. The Lakers are not a package in either. Like, I like Kuzma, Tilly, and Horton Tucker is not pieces I want to rebuild around. And those aren't pieces that aren't going to win me regular season games.
Right.
If they wanted to completely rebuild, I think New Orleans has like 4 or 5 first-round picks and young talent. You talking about a guy, Eric Bledsoe would have to be in the deal because he makes money, but like Kira Lewis is a young guard, Josh Hart's a young guy. They got a couple young bigs. Jackson Hayes is a guy that Portland could look at. New York's another one. They have a lot of young talent. Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, a lot of picks. So those are like 2 teams that if they completely tear it down, they could absolutely go that route. They wanted to win a couple regular season games. Say Kristaps Porzingis puts on a couple pounds, gets healthy. Dallas has a package they could probably use with guys like Jalen Brunson, Kristaps Porzingis. They don't have a ton of picks, but that could be a Damon Luka type deal. There's a lot of different routes you can go with this. My personal favorite, and the one I think I could see it happen, and you said it, is Oklahoma City. I don't think Oklahoma City would do it. But a Dame and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander pairing is just guards. Like, that's the best guard pairing in the NBA, in my opinion. It's the best guard pairing.
It is. That's why I mentioned that. Yep.
They could play off each other. Dame's a better shooter. Shai's a better defender. You got this. You got all the picks in the world there. You can trade for Dame, and probably like a Robert Covington would be a throw-in. You can sign a star or sign somebody. I don't think he goes to Oklahoma City. I don't think it fits the timeline, but man, oh man, that's like dream scenario. Another dream scenario, just put Dame and Jason Tatum together. Please, please. I know you don't want to hear that as a Laker fan, but Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart gets that job done. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and picks Damian Lillard.
I'm open to hear anything. Yep.
Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum.
I'm open to hear anything, my friend.
Man, that would be a fun pairing in the East. And then the East is better too. You know, you got Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum with the Sixers, Simmons and Embiid, assuming Simmons stays, Giannis in the Bucks. Nets have that super tandem. You know, Hawks are young and up and coming. Knicks are hot. So that Eastern Conference immediately shoots up. The Heat will be in the conversation. I don't know what they want. I don't know if I want Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson if I'm Portland, but there's a ton of different.
That's what the Celtics are missing. That's what the Celtics are missing, though. They're missing a stellar guard. You know, Kemba Walker wasn't that guy, okay? He was injury prone. He couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't give you reliable minutes. I mean, the guy wasn't consistent, you know, too inconsistent for me. He would miss a lot of shots. With Damian Lillard, you getting a guy who can stay healthy, who competes every night, who is a fierce competitor, and who will, you know, elevate everyone's game around him, you know. So I think the Celtics, you brought it up, the Celtics are a great fit for him. Him and Jason Tatum together, wow, that'd be nasty. You know, that would be great for the NBA too, because that'll put more parity in the East. And that'll probably balance things out a little bit more in the East. So Damian Lillard in green jersey, wearing Celtics colors, I could go for that, and I can see that happening. But you know, Cole, before we move on, I want to mention another trade possibility, and I know this is up in the air, and I know this it might not seem too far fetched, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. How's Utah for a potential landing spot? Maybe you package somebody like Ingles, or you package a Michael Conley. I know he's been valuable for them, but you're getting something more out of Damian Lillard if you package those guys and you put him with Donovan Mitchell. I mean, that team might get to the finals. Because you already have Rudy Gobert in your front court, and he's shown that he's a great defensive center. So, I mean, how you laughing? But how you like that?
I'm not laughing.
Can you see that happening?
I can absolutely see it happening. And like Danny Ainge, didn't he just go to the? He's a GM now, right? Danny Ainge is GM now, right? I think he was just hired, so I could see him trying to make a splash. I don't know if it'll. What's that? I don't know if Danny Ainge is going to make that big a splash. I don't know if Utah has that amount of assets. I don't know what Portland's trying to do too. Like it's hard to if Portland wants to stay competitive, you call Philadelphia. Hey, can I get Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey and some picks? Thanks. I'll take Damian Lillard and Embiid run the East for 5 years, but. I don't know. It's all over the place. Another guy that was in trade rumors this week, Pascal Siakam, was in a rumor
You're right, Danny Ainge.
Yeah,
you're right. Danny Ainge did join. He joined. Yeah. He joined the Jazz front office. So yes, you can see him making a big splash. And maybe he wants to prove himself after
Boston.
He failed kind of in Boston.
Agreed. No, I could definitely see it. I think you have to include a Gobert in that deal, to be 100% honest with you, which I would in a heartbeat just go small. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not a Gobert believer, never will. Anyway, Pascal Siakam with the Toronto Raptors, where there's smoke, there's fire, and the Golden State Warriors have offered, or it's rumored they offered James Wiseman and 2 first-round picks for Pascal Siakam. Do you think Pascal Siakam makes the Golden State Warriors a Western Conference Finals contender?
He was in the Eastern Conference. I mean, it's a lot easier in the Eastern Conference. I don't know how much of an upgrade that is from James Wiseman. I mean, I know James Wiseman is new on the block. I know he's a young, phenom. He's a rookie player. But they drafted him for a reason. Now they could use him as trade bait, sure. Again, they rely heavily on their guard play with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson once he gets back. But yes, if you want to have a chance to contend right away again, Siakam could be your guy because he brings a lot of energy. He plays hard every night. He's a tough player. I like him. I like he's energetic. He plays the game with a lot of heart, and he goes out there and he competes each night. But if you want, you build talent through the draft, right? You build your future through the draft.
Siakam fits the word.
I don't know how I feel about trading James Wiseman.
But Wiseman's gonna be in his prime when Steph Curry's 39. Like, you know what I'm saying? So what's the point of keeping him? I don't think it's rare when you see a center.
Somebody that's already ready.
That's gonna fit their timeline a little bit. And you get Siakam in there, and you just think of they got a defender at each level now. You got Klay at the guard position, Siakam at the forward, Draymond can defend bigs. You have this pairing that, if we go up against Utah, we can go small, throw Siakam and Klay on Thompson or on Mitchell and Gobert and lock those guys down, or Bogdanovich. Play Lakers, we got now. It's not going to stop them, but it'll slow them down. We got Dre and Siakam for LeBron and AD. For Kawhi and George, you got Siakam and Klay. It opens up a lot of versatility for the Warriors. I think that's why I would do it. Personally, I don't understand why Toronto would do it. Toronto's got the 4th pick in the draft. Toronto has a great opportunity to reload here. They're probably going to lose Kyle Lowry and get a guy like Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga. So there's a lot of point guards on the free agency too. Kyle Lowry's probably gone. So you're looking at, I don't think you're going to see a Toronto tear down. I hope I don't see a Toronto tear down. I like Fred VanVleet. Just had some injury bad luck this year. So I don't know. I haven't followed much of the draft. I saw Pistons got the number 1 pick. It's going to be Cade Cunningham. I don't think after that, I think it's a free-for-all. It could be traded anywhere. So, all righty. A little bit short on the staff today, a little bit short on the time today, but we're going to round out the show here. And I mentioned we're going to do final thoughts on the conference finals and NBA finals. What do you think? Who's going to win each series? Who do you think is going to win the finals? I'll let you go first here, Jonathan.
Okay. If Giannis does not play, I'm going to give it to Hawks because I think Trae Young is going to come back, and I think he's just going to put on another display like he has been doing throughout the playoffs. I mean, the Hawks have continued to prove us wrong, right? They have continued to silence the masses with their incredible play in these playoffs. And they are clearly the sleeper, the Cinderella of these playoffs. So I like them to stay hot. I'm rooting for the underdog, and in this case, the Underhawks, just to be a little funny and creative. That wasn't good, but I'll stick with the
underdog. Pretty good. So it was pretty good. I like it.
I'm rooting for the underdogs, which is the Hawks, to come out of the East. Nate McMillan, man, he has these guys prepared for each game. He's been there before. He's a winner himself, and he is a defensive-minded coach. So I like what he's doing, and he has been amazing in this team's turnaround. So I'm gonna stay with the Hawks to continue their hot run. And then out of the West, man, I don't know. It's hard to tell right now because the Clippers have suddenly heated up, and now they made things interesting after that win the other night. I still give the slight edge to the Suns, only because they have Chris Paul and they have Devin Booker. They don't have Cam Johnson tonight. He's out, but he'll be back. So I mean, the Suns, to me, I still give them the slight advantage here. I think it's silly when people say Chris Paul is cursed. Stop it. There's no curses in sports. I don't believe in curses. I think if it's not your time to win, it's just not your time to win. Any team can have great success. Put the curse nonsense aside. There's no curses, ladies and gentlemen, in the world of sports. Not even in real life.
Well, you've got the inevitable force of Chris Paul blowing playoffs, and you've got the immovable object of Tyronn Lue coming back in elimination games. We've seen Chris Paul blow big leads with the Clippers, with the Rockets. What's to say he's not going to stop with the Suns? Devin Booker, I need to see Devin Booker put up 30 on more than 20% shooting tonight for me to be like, yeah, Suns. I think the Clippers come back, and I think they make it to a Game 7, and then all bets are off. I'm not taking anything away from the Clippers once they get to Game 7. And I'm going to go the exact opposite of you, and I'm going to go Clippers-Bucks. And here's the reason why. Veterans. Suns are young. Now, they got Chris Paul, but Chris Paul never won outside of the conference finals. And they got Devin Booker, who has looked like he's a little afraid of the moment. They look like they blew their guests out in the first and second round. They blew out the Nuggets. They went all board. They took it to the Lakers. You watch the Hawks. They went 7 with the Sixers. They went 5 with the Knicks. They've kind of looked like their legs got heavy near the end of Game 4. Now, at the end of Game 3, when Middleton got really hot in Game 3 with the Bucks and Hawks, it looked like their legs got a little heavy. Trae was hurt. Nobody could carry the load a little bit. You watch Game 4, Giannis goes down. The Bucks kind of just derail their offense. Anytime an MVP goes down, I don't expect you to win the game. So I'm interested to see Game 5. I think the winner of Game 5 of Bucks-Hawks ends up going on to the finals. But I really think it'd be Bucks, man. It might just be my homer bias talking, but they have a lot of veterans. Middleton has shown that he can carry the load late. You're going to have guys step up and cover that 25 to 30 points Giannis gets, but Drew hasn't really looked for a shot that much. Guys like Bryn Forbes hasn't gotten a ton of minutes. Bobby Portis hasn't looked for a shot very much. So I think you're going to see a different Bucks team come out in Game 5 and steal a game in Game 5 and make it that much harder for the Hawks. So I think I'm going to go Clippers-Bucks. And it's crazy, and we're talking about two teams that are down MVP candidates, but I'm going Clippers-Bucks. And I can't believe I'm betting on Mike Budenholzer, but here I am. So all righty. So that rounds out nothing but the truth. Jonathan and I got some different opinions on who's closing out the finals. I guess we'll see tonight what it's going to look like. We'll be back Friday, same time as usual. Assuming Freddie will be back talking to us about how the Lakers should be trading for Damian Lillard. I don't know what he's going to try to spew to us, but we'll see then. All right, folks. You're probably right, Nate. All righty, that's it from us, folks. Have a good week. I will see you next Wednesday. Jonathan will probably see you Friday. Peace.
Yes, I will. Peace.